I grew up is always tell the truth and being honest. I think I'm really blessed with the life I have.
At 12 or 13, to me, he looked like a little Tom Curran.
Jeremy's definitely been my favorite surfer to watch on tour.
He won France, Chopu, Pipe Masters twice, and the best one of all, my brother's award, Tahiti.
The ISP took me out of the event.
He's not scared to tell the judges where to stick it. He's been fined probably more than anyone on tour.
You've had an amazing run, I tell you that. Now we can go on surf trips or do whatever we want.
Back to the Quick and Roxy Pro France, live from Les Cunus, Osegor, southwest France. Sunny skies on a Saturday afternoon and a packed crowd down at the water's edge, anticipating a bit of excitement. We have competition off for the afternoon due to our tide, but we're bringing something pretty special. Myself, Paul Evans in the studio alongside Peter Mal, and a very warm welcome to Nicolas Dazet. How you doing, Daz?
So we'll go back.
Great. Great to see you, mate. So we have got a Jeremy Flores special. We do have a Jeremy Flores expression session. A bunch of Jeremy's buddies from tour and otherwise out in the water, putting on a bit of a show and a big buzz on the beach for this. Waves just starting to come off that high tide. Should be a bit of fun and a bunch of talent out in the water. So really looking forward to this. And Daz, mate, welcome to the studio. What is this all about? So a bit of a celebration for Jeremy, a bit of love for Jeremy Flores, right? Why not?
There's a lot of love for Jeremy Flores. It's quite a special moment, very emotional moment, not only for Jeremy, but for the whole surf community locally, and even in all France. He retires from the competition, but he still has a huge influence on the French surfing scene. And I think it's another great occasion to celebrate Jeremy.
And how is he? Like, we haven't obviously seen much of him lately. Like, you know him really well. How's Jeremy doing in himself? Obviously, he seems pretty happy with the way life's going, right? Life's good for Mimi.
He's the best he's ever been. He's enjoying fatherhood. I think it's pretty important for him. He's expecting another kid in a few weeks from now. And no, he's loving it, honestly. He said, I saw him yesterday and he was back from Paris. He did a lot of media, a lot of promotion. And he said, like, since I retired, I never walked that hard.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, is all of a sudden, if you're still an athlete paid by your major sponsor, they're going to want you to do a lot of things like that, which is actually, I think, pretty darn cool, all right? I mean, if you can stay busy, I mean, yeah, it is extra work, but at the same time, you're loved within the brand. It's in a celebration, and he can go and he can be really helpful, for the brand.
A lot of love for Flores. We're seeing some of the surfers all getting ready down there. Daz, I've actually got a little bit of an exercise for you, mate. I've got a list of the talent out in the water, and if you'd be good enough, I can see Stephen Bell, long-time sponsor and mentor. I'd like a little one word, if possible. So I'm going to say these names, and you're going to give me a word. How do you feel about that?
Just one word?
Yeah,
just one word.
You can have a couple. You can have a phrase. You ready to rumble? Let's go through this list, right?
Okay.
Okay, we've got Jeremy Flores, first of all. Jeremy.
Wow, it's a pretty tough exercise, actually. we start with the hardest one. Legend.
Let's just take in these scenes here for the time being. So we can see the likes of, from left there, looking at Joan Duroux, Alan Rioux, Michel Perez, Zeke Lau. Some Hawaiians in there too, Billy Kemper. We saw some footage of Matthias Malem, of course, one of the standout locals from this beach. Kanoa Igarashi in there too. So some amazing talent.
Mason Ho.
Mace, Charlie
Keanu
Martin.
Singh. A lot of Hawaiians. He had a really great relationship with Hawaii.
He's a kid from the island, and he has this natural connection with Hawaii, with Tahiti.
I got Mace.
You're live, Ben.
Okay, I'm live. I'm with Mason home, more importantly. Mate, this looks like a lot of fun, Mason.
Yeah, no, I was just telling him I've never seen so many legends of all the generations together. So this is like a special moment. Jeremy got us all together.
And what's he like, Jeremy Flores? It's all for him, mate. What type of a guy is he?
I mean, he's the guy we all wanted to be, or like we all want to be like, you know. Like when I was younger, he was the kid that all the kids wanted to be, and so he followed the path and he killed it, and he won his events, and then we all still want to be just like him. So he's just like that. It's kind of the guy you wanna try shoot for, like
and he can
set the bar for us, my generation.
And he can pull into a big keg too, can't he?
Oh yeah, he could pull into any size barrel, small or as big as the scaffolding.
All right, mate, we'll get out there. They're all paddling out. Enjoy surf, and we'll see you afterwards.
Great stuff, Mason Ho, all smiles, and super cool to see the Jeremy Flores expression session going down. Always got a lot of time for the fans as well. Of course, not originally from this part of the world, but he's spent a lot of time since that first time he came and competed in a Quicksilver event, maybe 12 years old, something like that, Daz, and a lot of kind of family over here and friends. And
he started competing here as a wild card. It was probably 2005, his very first appearance. 2000, yeah, that was the year he had that hit with Mick Fanning in epic conditions.
Pulled into the big closeout left
yeah,
at La Gravière.
Exactly,
Yeah, that was kind of an iconic moment, right?
I think it's also, in a way, a bit of a celebration for Pierre Agnès, who really was the one who brought Jeremy into the Quicksilver fold, right? I mean, that was a big part of that time, right? And he believed in Jeremy at a very early age, and obviously saw that there was going to be some success there. Look at the size of those.
Totally. You're totally right.
Right?
I think it defined the relationship between Pierre and Jeremy, defined what European professional surfing became.
Yeah.
It was the benchmark. They raised the bar together. Pierre saw a huge potential in Jeremy very young, and he was quite a bet, because Jeremy at that time
was 12 years old or 10 years old. Was younger,
first
right?
time he saw him, I think first time he came, he was 10 years old at the Grommet contest in Cabreton. That's why he saw him first, and he was quite impressed. But Jeremy was living in Madagascar at the time, between Madagascar and La Réunion, so it was, like quite challenging to get him to do the contest in France and Europe. Then deciding to send the whole family in. Oh, that's amazing.
Great scenes down here on the beach at Cunu.
Totally got goosebumps.
Yeah, the little tunnel of love there for Jeremy. He makes his way into the water. He's going to paddle out, just quickly run through these things, of course, alongside Jeremy Daz. Instead of that, feel free to chime in if anything comes to mind. We're also going to see Joanne Duroux, Michel Perez, Marc Lacomar, Mickey Picon, Fred Robin, Carl Levas, Mathieu Agnès, Mikey Wright, Zeke Lau, Billy Kemper, Jaume Sayun, Thiago Sakapires, Belly, Matches Malem, Kanoa Igarashi, Ramzi Bukiam, Henri Taurai, Coco Ho and Alan Ryu. We're going to go to a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to bring you the Jeremy Flores Rendezvous Expression Session. Join us for it right after this. Welcome back to beautiful southwest France on a sunny Saturday afternoon. We're live from Lake Cunu in Osegor. We're here, of course, for the Quicksilver Hanno Roxy Pro France. But this afternoon, Challenger Series competition in all its seriousness has been parked for the time being. It's a celebration of the career of Jeremy Flores by a bunch of his good mates out in the water. A lot of crew from France, some Hawaiians out there as well, like that man right there, Mason Ho, and a lot of love for Jeremy in the water. The tricolor flying proudly in the afternoon sunshine here. That's a question for you, mate. Of this crew out here, who's going to hassle Jeremy the most away? It's maybe Charlie, right? Who's going to paddle up his inside?
Well, probably Leo, if he was there, would be the one.
I would back that.
No, all of them. Oh, Matthias Malem for sure. Matthias Malem. Matthias is a very good local surfer, but he's also the coach for the Roxy team. And he does an amazing job.
Let's go down here from Ben Mundy.
Yeah, I mean, if you're here, I'm just down on the beach, and the crowd is amazing. Like, you think about what Jeremy's achieved for France and the people he brings. So just for a half an hour expression session, and the beach is just absolutely thronged. Like, there's, I don't know the actual numbers, but probably 1,000 people.
I would say 1,000.
Frenchies just loving it down there. It's just kind of what Jeremy brings to this town and the surf fans is still amazing. He's got some pull still, Paulie Evans.
Yeah, great stuff down there. People soaking up, looking forward to just basking in Jeremy's glow and enjoying, this celebration of surfing and competitions. Like, obviously, there's a lot at stake and, can be sort of on edge and tense times, but this is just more like the celebration of the sport, right? This is classic going to the beach vibes and hanging with friends.
The crazy thing is that those people on the beach show up from out of nowhere in 2 minutes, literally.
So thinking, Daz, just knowing Jeremy's career, following it as you have, you worked a long time at Quicksilver, of course, so you played a big part in that. Some sort of standout moments, what we know about the wins, right? You've got the 2 pipe masters, the win in Tahiti, obviously the win here last time out in 2019.
If you're going to have wins, like, why wouldn't you have literally, like, those are the ones you're going to remember. I mean, it doesn't matter if he wins over in the U.S. Open, right? It's like...
Yeah, but those one where I think if Jeremy would...
Yep.
Well, let's revisit that and let's go down here from Ben Mundy's with Thiago Pires.
Yeah, Thiago, I'll get you quickly before we paddle out, but what's it feel like just about to paddle out with probably 15 of your closest mates and rippers? How do you feel?
Yeah, pretty special, I got a bit late because I was drinking coffee with Spinola in our life these days. But it's really special, We all here for Jeremy, Amazing career, #1 in Europe forever, and we all love him, so we're going to celebrate him.
Straight to the inside?
Straight to the inside of Jeremy straight away.
Okay. Go enjoy, mate.
All right, great stuff. Thiago Pires, of course, part of that European story, Daz, that's just been massive since the get-go, right? Thiago, just real good mates with the French crew as well. Think of Mickey and Thiago, really good mates, and just solidifying that European story.
They're the foundation of what we used to call the Euroforce crew back in the early 2000s. And Thiago and Mickey were the one kind of leading the charge and mentoring the younger guys like Jeremy. And they took Jeremy, look at Belly, amazing takeoff. He's looking for the barrel. Oh, I missed it, too bad. Belly, that was a nice one.
Great to see Belly in action, of course.
So for the people who might not know, this is not Kelly Slater. It looks like him, but it's not Kelly Slater.
Famously, though, as Belly once said himself, if you want to get to Kelly, you've got to go through Belly.
Yeah.
Classic catchphrase. Pretty good one. And
it is.
For a long
it's true.
Time,
That's the best part, why it's so good, is because if you do want to Kelly, you have to go through Belly. And generally, Belly can do it. You might have to work hard and, maybe a couple 18-hole golf, sessions before you get there, but...
You can even sign autograph for Kelly.
Yeah. Right. I've tried. Sometimes you get denied. It's hard to get a Kelly autograph sometimes.
Great scenes out in the water there for the Jeremy Flores expression session. We're just celebrating what's been an amazing career, putting Europe and France on the map.
We got kind of cut off by Ben Mundy running down there trying to do his job very well. But you were talking about some of the highlight moments for you that you remember about Jeremy, because I'd like to hear that.
Well, I think if Jeremy had to pick at the beginning of his career for 3 wins, he would have picked, obviously, France, Tahiti, and Hawaii.
Yeah.
And that's what he did.
It's almost like he just was like, I'm just going to win those ones.
Yeah.
Call it a career.
Outstanding, the career he had and the success he had. being the youngest guy to qualify on the World Tour in 2006, winning the QS back then, being Rookie of the Year in 2007, finishing in the top 10. He spent over a decade in the top 10.
He never went down, did he?
He did.
Once?
He did back in 2013.
But
that
then
was
it was right back.
the dark time. It was tough period for him. 2013, 2014. It was maybe
There's
in
a
the right
refinement.
mindset. Yeah,
Yeah.
he had a tough time personally, and but he recovered from that. And we were talking about this. I think every time he hit the bottom, he used that as a fuel to get back at the top.
Right.
And for
it's
example,
a good life recipe, right? It's like, I mean, because we're all going to hit those moments in our life where things aren't going your way, right?
Yeah,
And
but
generally, you need to be able to bounce back, and this is where Jeremy,
Yeah, Belly.
look at Bailey.
where he's actually probably at a point in his life, as you mentioned at the very beginning of this, he's at the best point of his life, right? I mean, he's achieved, a solid career on the championship tour. He's leaving on his own accord, and now he gets to celebrate and surf, and he's still plenty healthy enough to be able to do a lot of good things in the surf world.
And he's still super active in a way that I think, and it's very natural for him. He gives back a lot, and I think the transmission to the younger generation for him something that's super important. And the best example is Cowley Vast.
Yeah.
It literally took him under his wing since pretty much Cowley started surfing, and that was the time Jeremy was spending a lot of time in Tahiti. And I remember last time I was in Tahiti was 2014. We were doing this massive photo shoot for Quicksilver, and that was the year Jeremy couldn't do the contest, which was quite big frustration for him. But he ended up winning the year after, so using that for
as fuel.
as a fuel. But I remember that year we spent like a month in Tahiti, and literally every time Cowley was spending all of his time with Jeremy, like a koala,
Yeah.
like this. And Jeremy was
Just
taking him surfing everywhere. Cowley wasn't even pro sponsor at the time. He was ripping already. And Jeremy told us straight away, told Mickey we need to get him on the team, and it's going to be the next big thing. So I think it's something that he loves to. He loves to do. He loves to hang out with the kids. He feels like very comfortable with them.
That's the best Jeremy
Yeah.
I see is when he is cruising with younger kids. It brings a kind of it brings his youth out of him, you know.
Yeah, the other thing, of course, we think about Jeremy, think of that affinity and that connection with Hawaii, and maybe fans would just wonder where does that exactly come from? Because you talk about the youngsters, but in terms of the older and some of the real big kind of legendary names, he's really tight with them. Where does that come from, Dad? How come Jeremy gets on so well in the islands?
I think that's growing up in an island himself. I think it's a natural connection because he embraced the lifestyle.
Brutal honesty as well, I think.
And Jeremy's raw, and so that's probably why he can't hide his feeling. We know that. We all know that.
No, it's brutal
sometimes
honesty. And the Hawaiians love that.
It was a tough moment for him, but is very genuine, and I think that's why guys like Sonny and Andy took him open the door to him, and they were really close friends to him.
Yeah, no, he wasn't putting on a facade, right? That's what I think biggest thing, right? It wasn't fake at all. It was Jeremy, no matter what.
Yeah.
You knew what you're getting, whether it was angry or happy. You knew what you're getting.
Yeah, and he never tried hard to come along with those guys. It was very natural thing.
Yeah.
He was real, and they like him, and he was charging.
Yeah, that's always helpful.
He gained his respect at pipe and backdoor by getting, to get there. It's not during the contest that you gain the respect from those guys. It's during the free surf session when you make your own spot, and you session after session get closer to the main peak, to the wolf pack, and manage to get some bombs.
So true.
But no, he has this natural connection with the Hawaiian scene, same as he has this natural connection now with the Tahitian scene.
My first time with Jeremy, I was asked by Quicksilver, hey, we need to house this kid, and he was at the time, I think he was probably 16, 17, and he came to Santa Cruz, and he was sort of doing the Pro Junior event, and he came and stayed at my house, and again, he was, his English was getting better, but I mean, at this point, he was a great surfer, and he carried himself so well. And that's one of my memories of him. I think he ended up winning the Pro Junior in that event too. At that time.
It's Sir Jeremy Flores love in here, quite rightly too. But I'm going to put you on the spot again here, Daz. What don't we like about him? Come on, he can't be perfect, right? What are some of his faults? We're all human, right? What's he like? What's annoying about Jeremy?
His temper.
His brutal honesty.
His temper.
He'll call you out big time.
No, he's a father. I think he has more patience. But, well, when we were traveling together back on his early years on tour, we knew he had a bad temper sometimes, and he wasn't pretending not to.
And he did. It wasn't like he tried to hide it.
He wasn't happy. He would let you know.
Yeah. I mean, and again, that's where you end up gaining the most respect, right? It's like, it's one.
Beautiful scenes down here in France. The Jeremy Flores Rendezvous Expression Session. A bunch of his good bodies from Tour and from beyond, all out in the water, enjoying some waves. Fans lapping it up on the beach. We're live from a sunny Saturday in France. Quick commercial break. We'll bring you more of Jeremy Flores and pals real soon. Welcome back to Southwest France. Live scenes from the beach in Osgore. Les Cuneux is the spot. We're not running Challenger Series heats this afternoon. We're celebrating this man, Jeremy Flores. He's out there having an expression session with a bunch of pals. But he still looks like he's been keeping himself in pretty good nick.
Yeah, he's been training in Switzerland. He went to, that was another cool thing he did in the last few days. He took all the the junior from the
yeah, I saw that.
to,
I was going to ask about that, actually.
To the wave pool over there.
To the new one that's up in Switzerland?
Yeah.
Of course, we've had a break here from Quicksilver and Roxy Pro. Francis, for obvious reasons, a couple of years off, but last time we were here, let's kind of revisit that moment. We think about the great chapters down the years, and we've seen some amazing events on this stretch of sand, but in terms of the vibe and the atmosphere and all that, I don't think you can really beat the feeling. When Jeremy won it, took it out, everyone singing the French national anthem. They closed off the main street in Hossegor, right? Put a DJ, well, yourself, in the mini roundabout in front of Café de Paris. Unbelievable.
It was, if somebody would have write this, we would have said, no, this is a little bit too much.
Too much.
Right? It's too much. There's no way it can
happen.
happen.
Put that back in the contest. In the context, it was the last Pro France as a city event. The whole community was still very affected by the loss of Pierre Agnès.
Yeah.
And Jeremy won. And it was a moment like, I could cry right now just to talk about it, honestly.
Yeah, no, same.
It was something that's where you realize he's a true champion. And I think the way he did it with such a panache and bravado was, that's things like sport can give you at his best, and that's where Jeremy made the difference.
It wasn't like Jeremy had the best track record here in France. Matter of fact, it was actually probably one of
struggling.
Yeah,
he was struggling, and he was probably, he was getting to the point where every year, getting closer to the contest, he was putting more pressure on himself, and every year he was trying something different. Because for him, it's very special being home. The amount of pressure is way higher than anyone else.
100% agree.
Because imagine that he's the one with Kelly having the most media requests, and it was spending days in Paris before the contest to answer those media requests. And then, so at some point he said, okay, I'm going to try to focus on the contest. He wasn't walking neither, so every year was trying something different.
Well, we've been talking about people that Jeremy's been helping out. One of those is Joanne Defay, and she's down the beach for a chat with Monday.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Yeah, with Joanne. Yeah, a bit of a tribute to your friend Jeremy Flores. Just can you describe what Jeremy Flores is to you?
Oh, well, yeah, tough question. I mean, he's such a big inspiration, you know, for, I feel like, all the French and Réunion Island people and European surfer too. He's, since he said he's going to retire, I really realized how much he impact our way of seeing professional surfing and surfing in general. So. And in my career, he definitely helped it even more, personally, you know, when I had no sponsor and stuff, he helped financially and stuff. So it's definitely, I don't know, it's quite emotional to say bye-bye to him.
He's not dying. He's still going to be around.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, but yeah, I just feel privileged to have all these years on tour with him and sharing a bit more than just watching him on screen and stuff. So thanks, Jeremy, for everything that you've done for the sport.
And I've asked this question, it's a hard one. How would you describe Jeremy in one sentence, if you could describe Jeremy in one sentence?
One sentence? Damn it. Okay. Passion. I think he's very passionate, and yeah.
Well, thanks so much, Joanne. You're surfing the event, so good luck in the rest of the event, and thanks for your time. And we'll go back to watching Jeremy and his mates. Back to you guys in the booth.
Yeah, thanks. Great interview. You know, we talk about that legacy of Jeremy Flores and, you know, the sort of glittering career that he's had, but legacy is a really important thing, right? And, you know, Daz, you're in your music. We talk about bands that kind of other bands started because they heard them. And Joanne Defay is an amazing example, right? Think of European surfing kind of before Jeremy. There's some talented surfers, but certain point, maybe kind of making up the numbers a little bit. He came in as a genuine contender, you know, won massive events, top 10, back to back to back. Joanne Defay has kind of really picked up that mantle for European surfing. She's this kind of shining light right now, and that's basically a lot of that's down to Jeremy. That's amazing.
Totally, you're totally right. And I think she took a lot of, she got inspired a lot, but in a very close way. I know Jeremy spent a lot of time talking with her. Jeremy's father as well helped Joanne a lot at the beginning. So he has a true influence in the all European surfing, and it's. I think the success, all the victories he had, all the career he had. Well, it's a true inspiration. It never happened before, and I hope there will be some new Jeremy Flores. But right now,
I mean,
he set the bar pretty
high. But you've got guy we were just seeing him talk to him, Kaoli Vas, right?
Mm.
Which Kaoli, just from what I've watched his progression in the last 2 years, what he does is they've been doing it at Chopo, which is truly amazing. He could pretty much just probably harness a career doing that, but he's winning Pro Juniors. He's in the Challenger Series now, and he's making heats, and he's surfing really well. It feels like that is that, you know, the next baton being handed to that next generation. And it's not like there's only Kaoli, right? There's the plethora of talented young surfers that are coming up that he's fostering, and it's exactly what he would do to leave a legacy, right? Is have a career like he's had, you know, and be able to step away from the competition side of it, but still have a career, which he's going to, right? We're still going to see videos. We're going to still see him getting barreled. We're going to still see him in Hawaii. Maybe we can have him come over to Mavericks and we can start his big wave career.
Well, he loves big waves.
I know, that's what I'm saying. He was in the Eddy. He didn't get a chance to surf in the Eddy, which is a bit of a bummer because. You know, it was one where he, you know, was.
I don't think it happened that year. He got invited.
No, it didn't. I don't think he ever got to surf in an Eddy. I mean, it was an event that he was very proud to be invited to, but he just didn't get to compete in it for the, you know. So, but I would imagine, and I know this for sure, he would do very well.
Yeah. But you were mentioning Chopo, and I think one of the highlights in his career that he's the most proud of is the Andy Iron Award. He got it at Chopo in 2011, if I remember well. So that was years before winning the contest there in Chopo in Tahiti. But
I was there
for him, it was huge.
And remind us the Andy Irons Award.
It was the 1 year after. I think he won the first Andy Irons Award.
And the award is for just exceptional.
It's commitment. It's commitment to not only just the wave, but commitment to obviously his career, but also his friends and the tour. It was pretty clear that it's a charging award basically.
And I don't know if you remember, we won that one that morning.
Fredo
it was the first heat of the day, right? It was like massive first heat of the day.
Yeah,
and it was gnarly, high tide, crazy.
And
chopes.
Everyone on the boats were like, no, they can't do it. It's too big. It's too dangerous.
Exactly. Everyone was freaking out that they called it on. I was freaking out that they called it on.
That was so scaring. And he got this huge barrel. I think
he
thought it was a huge closeout. And I was like, yep, that's him.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, and he's going to prove something, and he did. Ultimately, he didn't win the event that year, but again, he was the most committed, and especially that morning. It was the day after the Code Red swell, right?
Yeah,
it was the day after of Code Red, and it was still massive. And they're like, "Yep, it's on, guys. Go out there, Jeremy, first heat." And he just head down, whoof, late drop. And I remember it being high tide, so it was kind of lurpy. It wasn't like this nice, big, clean chopes. It was angry, mean chopes.
Yeah. And I remember talking with him about that hit, and he said, like, he loves barrels, but those waves, he wouldn't have paddled on them if it wasn't
for the event.
For the hit.
Yeah. And I guess that's the most committed award, right?
Look at Fred Rubin, one of the most stylish surfer in France.
Fellow Reunion Islander originally, and now in the coaching role and doing really well.
Yeah, he's coaching the French team, which is a great thing. He used to won the ISA games. I think it was
World
back
Surfing
in
Games,
2002 or something like that.
Yeah.
Amazing, super stylish surfer. Amazing backhand surfing.
Coco Ho, we had her in the studio earlier on today after a good heat win for her this morning. She came in and had a chat. She's feeling pretty good about life. All part of that Jeremy Flores connection.
Well, and that's like, with Derek, another surfer who has passed away very, too early, unfortunately. But Mike Ho, father of Mason and Coco. Again, it was a very easy, simple connection that Jeremy had to the Ho family, to the Rothmans. He's connected to the Rothman and that entire legacy over there in Hawaii. So it was a pretty, I wouldn't say easy road, but they all loved him, and they still love him, and he gets to kind of cruise that island in style.
Yeah,
North Shore can be tough at times, but Jeremy, the way he's been his whole life, and it wasn't like it was fabricated. Like I said earlier, he did it all earned by respect in the water and respect on the land.
Kanoa, Girashi. And we just saw 2 waves before Alain Rioux, contest director, former pro surfer from Tahiti.
And also someone historically, think about this bank as we watch Charlie Martin shredding away on the inside. Think about that barrel that Alain got maybe 5 years ago out here. Got an absolutely crazy one on a big left drainer out here. Probably still one of kind of the barrels from this stretch of beach. And over here's a contest director. So we're running pretty deep in terms of the crew right now. A lot of love for Jeremy Flores. Fans really enjoying this expression session. But I mean, we've got guys like Alain Rioux out in the water. Doesn't even have a jersey, right? So we've got more takers than we actually had jerseys for. That's how deep the crew runs.
Yeah, we had this event with the Eurosima last night, and he obviously won the Career Achievement Awards, and he said something on stage. I know he was meaning it. He said he's overwhelmed by the amount of love he gets since he announced his retirement, and he obviously deserves it. Well, but is that Mathieu? So yeah, it was really. I think it was Mathieu Agnès.
Yep.
Got taller. Haven't seen
they
him
grow
for a
up
while.
quick, huh?
Yeah.
He's at that age, and that's Pierre's son, obviously. And just Pierre was, basically ran Quicksilver Europe, but also ended up winning Quicksilver as a whole, and a huge mentor. Really, you think about Pierre's career too. I mean, he started out as a team manager and moved his way all the way up through just pure dedication to the brand to end up as a...
To the brand and to surfing in general.
Yeah.
He gave a lot to surfing.
Lots of love for Jeremy Flores down here at Lake Kunu, competition venue for the Challenger Series expression session right now for Jeremy Flores. We can get a quick commercial break. Beautiful scenes on a Saturday afternoon. Join us for more of this right after the break. We're back live with the Jeremy Flores Rendezvous expression session for the legends. We're out of Reunion Island via Madagascar and spent a lot of time in this part of the world. We're watching him paddle into a wave here. Jeremy Flores, winner of some of the most prestigious silverware in the sport of surfing, but also the winner of Hearts and Minds here in France, across the world. We've talked about the friends and connections over in Hawaii, but pretty much all over. Spent a lot of time in Australia as well when he was younger. Went to school over there, picked up his English over there, and had a good affinity with the Anglophone community as well. And a real breakout start from Europe.
He pretty much spent all his winter between the age of 12 until 16. And one of the main reasons to go there is obviously to improve surfing, but also to join the Pro Junior Tour over there, which at the time was probably the highest level
of
surfing. Yeah, right? He was competing against Ace Buchan and Glenn Hall and Bede and those guys, and he was younger than them. And yeah, that's where he started like really competing on the world scene.
Someone we haven't talked about much, who can't be here, Kelly Slater, and he's played a big role as well in Jeremy's career as well. Kind of like, you know, talk about that young gun sort of story that was happening, and that was a big part of Jeremy's story too, right? Big support from Kelly. I mean, at one stage there's a lot of next Kelly Slaters, right? And Jeremy was kind of that name from Europe.
Well, Jeremy started the World Tour in 2007, and at that time the Quicksilver team was quite impressive. There was Jeremy, Kelly, Julian, Dane, and Belly was the guy in the middle, managing all of this, and trying to get the best houses every time in front of the wave during each contest, and the fact that having everyone, all the team together, was huge source of motivation for Jeremy.
And it was
obviously,
the first of its kind at that point in time.
Yeah.
It was really the first time you're seeing like basically a race team, right? You could, like F1 race team, same kind of deal, right? Where you're putting everybody together, you're putting them in the best of the best to give them the opportunity to have the best performances, right? And that was what Belly's kind of dream was, and Quicksilver was at that forefront of doing that. They had the best houses in Hawaii. They had the best houses.
Jeffers Bay.
Jeffers Bay.
That one. Bali, I remember.
But that was part of the plan, right? And Jeremy was a big part of that too. And I think that's obviously a big reason of his influence on trying to have the best of the best for the kids, to bring them up. And that's what he was able to kind of have, is that support. And he's trying to bring that. I mean, Kelly was probably, like you mentioned, he was a mentor to him.
But it wasn't that easy. I mean, you know, they were.
I wonder how they actually got the rooms.
Were friends, teammates, but at the same time they were rivals.
Come on,
they
Dad, dish the dirt, mate. Dish the dirt.
And there was a lot of ego, obviously.
No, 100% there would be.
Racing for the world title, and so it was quite interesting moment. So
and Kelly usually had the best room.
Yeah, obviously. But he wasn't.
Jeremy didn't like that.
Yeah, sometimes he wasn't
mentoring
in just in a positive way. Sometimes it was like just a little bit of friction,
of
you know.
Course.
And it was kind of, and Belly was like super comfortable in the middle of that.
He loved it, huh?
Yeah.
And Stephen Bell is the one who's riding the dang mid-length in this event here, right? No, just so you know. He's got the biggest board in this heat.
But no, Kelly had a huge influence, obviously, on Jeremy's surfing. Great inspiration. And I remember like some free surf in between hits and together. Especially, like I have like some great memories about like Tahiti, getting Remana to take us to some like secret spots and
he scored.
2 guys out, fun barrels, or South Africa as well.
Great scenes here from Osagor. Lake Kunu is the spot for our Challenger Series competition. Quicksilver and Roxy Pro Francis. We've not got Challenger Series action in this late afternoon. What we've got is A really cool expression session for Jeremy Flores. It's the rendezvous with a bunch of his mates. Think about the talent that's out in the water, from present stars from the CTs, a bunch of legends as well. And it's been awesome to watch, right? We've really enjoyed it. It's just cool for everyone to kind of have that moment here in France with Jeremy. Last time we kind of saw him really on the elite level here was that win in the Quick Pro France. But everyone coming out to support him, flying the flag, this has been awesome.
It has been awesome, actually, and just to kind of reflect on his career. And I just realized, oh, wow, that's right. He did. He came and hung out in Santa Cruz with us, and I was able there to witness his wins firsthand. And I think, as Nick, you're a big part of his career too.
Well, I got the luck to follow him for 5 years on the World Tour. His first 5 years, and it was such an amazing experience to see him growing up, becoming a young pro surfer, and also becoming an adult and evolving in his own personal life. I think he's
grew up on tour, really.
Yeah. I think he's such an amazing person now. I love him. I love this guy. He has a huge impact in all our lives, like, because he was pushing the level so high that he was carrying everyone with him.
And we touched on it already, but like next steps for Jeremy, like obviously he's still going to carry on surfing in amazing ways, right? You know, we'll see him probably in Hawaii, but yeah, what might we see from him? Where's he going to go from here?
Tahiti.
Tahiti and be a dad for a part of it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would imagine we'll see him on a few waves because he's not going to give up the surfing part of this thing.
No, I know he has some plans, some ideas, and he's going to travel. He wants
Can't
to
wait.
travel. He wants to go to some places, and he never got the chance to surf yet.
Yeah.
Even cold surf is interesting in cold surf,
Hey, he's got his invite to Mavs. We'll take care of him.
Yeah, no. He wants to surf, definitely. And he wants to get some good waves. He's an amazing surfer in the barrel. And he has a lot of fun to come.
And more broadly, thinking about the Quiksilver and Roxy family and just the legacy of this event here, Daz, in France, this has been really like a flagship event for the World Tour, partly because of when it is and it's getting towards that title run part, but also just because of the ways we've had, and it's kind of turned into like a festival in the sport, right? And European surf fans come from all over, and Quiksilver and Roxy Pro France has been, for us, but I think people all around the world, a real kind of standout on the championship tour.
Yeah, I think this event is unique in a way that we have people coming from everywhere in Europe. The audience is huge. It's one probably of the largest audience on the beach on the good days. But it's not only French people. There's a lot of people coming from Spain, from UK, from Germany, from Switzerland, Belgium. So it's a European event, and the city is just turning crazy during the time of the contest. There's parties, concert, music, festival, like art shows, whatever.
Last hurrah for summer.
It's a French style, my friend.
Well, a man oozing with French style is that man in shot there, Jeremy Flores, with the tricolor flying in the breeze behind him. A great moment for Jeremy Flores. Merci, Jeremy is written on the jersey, and we'll extend that from everyone at World Surf League and everyone just behind this event. It's been amazing watching that man compete down the years here, and cool to see him with a chance with his buddies out in the water. This has been great.
Oh, it was quite emotional moment.
I'll give you a tissue. It's cool.
Promise I'm not going to cry.
It's pretty cool, though. I mean, and it's well deserved.
So
I
cool.
mean,
it made me think about like when at the time he won, it was
nuts.
The beach was so packed, and people singing the Marseillaise or the French hymn. I've never seen that before, and probably we won't see it again. And as you said, like we blocked the main street, in front of Café de Paris, which is the most emblematic venue to get a beer in Osegor. And there were thousands and thousands of people, like just coming to celebrate. Yeah.
Raging.
We are stoked to be back in France for the Quiksilver and Roxy Pros. This has been the Jeremy Flores Rendezvous, the expression session for a bunch of his mates, and a chance for the fans really just to get another shot at Jeremy, get some selfies with him.
It is Saturday night. It's like, so maybe the Café de Paris tonight, right?
Should be.
Right, keeping the Merci Jeremy on to the next level.
Yeah, we're just by Mondays down there, ferreting around. He's just trying to get in
Find
there
him, Ben.
for a chat. We've got a lot of people down there, all want a piece of Jeremy. Let's see if we can get away from him. I think we're still a little bit away from that. But
come on, Ben, get in there. Just muscle your way in. He can hear us.
And Daz, people who are watching online that might be like thinking of coming down here, we talked about the forecast. We've got a little bit of everything, but very much still an awesome place to come, right? We've missed professional surfing here. Yeah. It really is a big part of the culture of this part of the world. And for anyone to come down, come and enjoy it, have a surf, come hang out with the stars.
There's plenty of good waves around. And yeah, there's going to be some interesting condition this week.
Well, I mean, we already had with day one with 1 foot, and forecast calling for at least 15 feet.
That's
so
the thing.
You better have a quiver.
That's probably one of the only events in the world where you need to bring your small waveboard and your big waveboard in the same board bag.
We're dragging Jeremy up the beach here to make sure that we can get an interview with Ben.
And you know that famous quote? I think it's Jack Patterson who told me once. Like if it looks good and you're not in the water,
yeah, you're late.
You're late.
You're late. Yeah, that's true.
Let's see if we can hear from Ben Mundy and Jeremy Flores. Looks like they're getting ready for a chat.
Yeah, I got Jeremy Flores. How was that experience, Jeremy? What a time.
Yeah, good times. You know, when you share good times with your friends, no matter how the conditions are, it's always laughs and good energy, good vibes. I wish it was barreling and pumping. But it is what it is, and I'm stoked to see all my friends. You know, all these years on tour, you become friends and you become family with a lot of the guys and the girls on tour with so many years. And of course, all my childhood friends that are here, and a lot of the French people are here too. So it's cool. Just one more hit. I gave it my hardest. I don't think I tried to do more than 3 or 4 turns like that ever since I'm retired. I almost threw up after one of my waves. But it felt good.
Brutal honesty.
The energy is amazing.
And at the place, we had one of your biggest career wins, the Quick Pro France here, the last massive victory. So just to be on this beach with these fans, it's it just must feel amazing.
Yeah, it's always special. When I haven't been back to France a lot lately, so when I come back here, I feel this special energy. I have Hossegor a special place in my heart for a long time, and especially after that last win. A lot of good memories, and what happened in that win in 2019, it felt like it's the stuff you only see in movies, like you see the local guy, win event and waves were firing, like the crowd, the beach was like it was like a football stadium, and all my family, my friends, and so it was a dream come true, and that's after that win I was pretty positive that I was going to retire. I was going to stop pretty quick because this was a huge achievement for me.
Okay, well, what an achievement. Merci, Jeremy. You've been such an amazing professional and friend and mentor and ambassador. So all the best for the rest of your career, Jez, and thanks for making this happen.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks everyone. Thanks everyone who supported me through the ups and downs and all my crazy little moments in my career. And but it's just the next chapter. I just stopped competing, but you'll hear about a few more little projects I'll be working for.
Okay, let us know. Maybe time for a little demi-pression, mate. Well earned. Okay, back to you guys in the booth.
Good stuff. Cheers, Mundy. Great words from Jeremy there, and just cool to see him with a big smile on his dial and just soaking up the vibes, right? That's originally when you start out surfing, you might be dreaming of titles and trophies, but it's basically about hanging on the beach with your friends.
Best post-heat interview of all times is Jeremy, right? He's always, and especially when it came to the retirement year, those last few interviews, you just didn't want to keep the mic away from him. You just wanted to just let him roll because it was entertaining.
Let's take a look at the accolades. There they are on the screen. Of course, that 2019 Quicksilver Pro France champion. We're just talking about that moment before CT wins, and we've talked about them. 2 Pipe Masters, Tahiti as well. Incredible career for Jeremy Flores, 14 years on the championship shore, youngest ever qualifier as well, and just an incredible ambassador from Europe. What a man. We're stoked. Thank you, Jeremy.
Merci,
Jeremy.
Merci, Jeremy. Merci, Jeremy. Merci,
well,
Jeremy.
that's going to wrap up the Jeremy Flores expression session. We're soaking up the vibes in here, the rendezvous, and there's a lot of people on the beach enjoying the energy. We are looking at coming back tomorrow for a call. 8:30 is our call for Challenger Series competition to resume. Forecast not look amazing for the next couple of days, but we'll come down this bank here, can turn it on, kind of amplify what we've got left. So thoughts on maybe getting a run tomorrow or looking a bit further down the line? What are we thinking, Pete?
I think we'll look at the morning for maybe a couple heats. Travis does love to run heats, and if there's contestable waves in the morning, we'll probably run. I think the round has already been run at kind of mid-sized bank, so I feel like we could run a few heats in the morning, but no guarantees.
All right, well, let's see how that goes. Come back tomorrow morning, worldsurfleague.com for the call. We're going to send you out with some highlights. Daz, a little closing thought from you on Jeremy and France in general. You must be feeling pretty proud, you know, having been a big part of the Jeremy story.
We all feel proud. It's been the old village, you know, feels proud about Jeremy. And yeah, it's not the end. It's just the beginning of a new chapter. And I think he has a lot more to offer. And it should be quite exciting to see what he's going to come up with in the next few months and years.
Lots more to come from Jeremy Flores. Lots more to come from Challenger Series competition. We're looking at qualified surfers for the CT, fighting for the dream. We've got some highlights from this morning's Roxy Pro action. We're going to send you out with them. In the meantime, we'll see you tomorrow morning, nice and early for the call. See you then.
Is produced by the World Surf League for broadcast around the world and may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the written consent of the World Surf League.